Listening to the Recess Podcast. I'm your host, Donna Sneed. One of the things I've noticed over the years is that we all get caught up in the stuff of life. And sometimes it becomes difficult to slow the roll. I wanted to share snippets of encouragement to you as you maneuver through the busyness of family, business, ministry, and life in general. So I launched the Recess Podcast as a reminder for you and me to take a break, sit back a little, and simply breathe. You know you were not created to work 24/7, 365. So in order for you to be more impactful in whatever circles of influence you have, you must take a recess. It's necessary for your very life. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage, a notepad, and a pen. Come on, let's recess together.
What's up, believer? I am sure that you are doing very well on this beautiful day. Even if it's raining, don't you know that it's beautiful? I mean, the rain just comes down and it causes everything that it comes in contact with to grow. Yeah, even those doggone weeds, they grow too. But guess what? Something's got to live when it rains. And we know that with all the situation that we've all experienced, it has seemingly rained on our parade. But can I tell you right now that it's time to just sit back, relax, take a recess. Guys, it's time for a break. It's time for a break. You know, if you're honest and if you're truthful with yourself, that you actually needed recess. Do you remember that time when we were in grade school, elementary school, whatever you call it back in your time, when you did all the work early in the morning and then you had a chance to kind of, go over it with your teacher. She went over it with you. You talked in and out and through the classroom, and then the bell rang. You knew what time it was. It was recess time. That's what this podcast is all about, and I am super excited about bringing it. I mean, everything that's in me. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I finally got an opportunity because I think it's so important for us to be reminded every now and then to just relax, take a time out, put the pencils down, and start to go out, get some sun, get some of that ray, and think about what we're doing. Because many times, too many times, we get caught up, like I said, in the stuff of life. And then we forget what we saw in the mirror before about how great we are. We lose sight because of all the busyness that is coming into our families. We lose sight because of all the heaviness, the downpour, the rain, the snow, the sleet, the wind. I'm sitting and I'm watching how that wind is blowing outside. And a lot of times this is what we experience. But I think we forget about one important truth. When you look at that wind and it's blowing, and I mean, it looks like it is going to topple the trees. That wind is blowing and it just keeps on blowing, and the tops are waving in the wind. And every now and then I'm reminded that even the trees are giving God the glory, regardless of how strong and fierce that wind is blowing. But the one important thing, I need you to get this. You've got to get this. You've got to be reminded. Allow yourself to be reminded that the roots are dug in so deep that no matter what is going on above ground, yeah, that wind is blowing and those treetops are bending, but they're not breaking. And can I tell you something about trees? That even if they shed the tops of the trees, they're going to continue to grow. Do you know why? Because their roots are dug down so deep in the earth, reaching out to wherever there is the next water, wherever there is the next raindrop that is coming on. There it is cool under the earth. They're dug so deep they will not die. They may bend, but they will not die. Can I remind you today, in our recess time together, because it is break time and it's time for you to start thinking about this important truth. When you dig your roots in so deep, it does not matter what folks have to say. It is not important how people look at you or what you may think they could possibly be thinking about you. After all, what somebody else thinks about you is none of your business. That's right. I said it. Whatever somebody else is thinking about you is absolutely none of your business. You see, what's important to me, and I'm hoping it's important to you, my friend, is what you think about yourself. Don't forget that you were born with greatness. You were born with excellence on the inside of you. Did you do it? Did you put it there? No way, no how. It had to come from God, our Father. He thought enough of us to put all of himself. He breathed himself on the inside of you and me. And that makes you smile, right? When you think about the breath of God being on the inside of you. I know, life happens to us all. But dear heart, let me remind you today in our recess time, we're collecting our thoughts today. And we're reminded that God loves us so much that he breathed his breath of life on the inside of us. He made us in his likeness and in his image. Therefore, regardless of how other people perceive me or you, I told you already, it's none of my business. God made us wonderfully and fearfully. Yeah, that's you. That's you, believer. That's you, sis. That's you, bruh. You don't quit when the wind starts blowing. You don't quit when the fire is turned up 7 times hotter. You focus your eyes and your attention on the one who made you, on the one who is in the fire with you. You focus your attention and your mindset, all your affection is focused today in this recess moment. Today, all of your focus is on the one who is able to bring you from the back to the front. He's just been waiting on you to recognize, to realize just how favored you are in his eyes. Don't you know that you're the apple of God's eye? I think I'm going to say it again for the people all the way in the back. You, believer, are the apple of God's eye. That's what this podcast is all about. It's simply to remind us that we are special in God's mind. And guess what? He's given us an ability and authority, power over all the power of the enemy. You know who the enemy is. Yeah. He comes in the form of bitterness. He tries to keep us in angry spots and spaces and places in our families. He tries to keep us in spots and places where we're not forgiving our loved ones because of something that they said or because of something that they've done. You know who the enemy is. Yeah, he's that liar who is the father of all lies, who will always lie because he was the liar from the beginning. He cannot tell the truth. So when, dear heart, when you hear, I'm just talking what I'm talking about. When you hear that there's sickness, you be reminded that there's healing, that there's wholeness, that I am healed, that I was healed, therefore I am healed. You just be reminded that promotion, if you're looking for promotion, you can't look for it in your enemy. You can't look for it from man, because all promotion comes from above. It's recess time. I dare you to take the challenge. Chill, sit back. I'm not even talking about being lazy. I'm not even talking about going back, shrieking back, and being afraid to move forward in all the excellence that God put on the inside of you. I'm not even talking about bowing down to the enemy of fear. I'm talking about standing up in your authority. You see, God gave us authority to operate in the earth. In the IT field, I'm not a specialist, but I know what I know. In the IT field, there's such a thing called an ATO, which means that if you intend to put any type of software or hardware on the network, you must have the authority to operate. Yeah, an ATO. Can I tell you that you and I have been given the ATO that didn't come from man, but it came from God? Yeah. It came from God. You and I, yes, we have the ATO, the authority to operate in the earth. And so we operate. How do we operate? We operate by his word. So his word says that I'm protected on every side. I might fall, but I get up again. I might be troubled, but I'm not perplexed. I might be down, but I'm not out. You might be pressured, but it cannot overtake you. You are blessed and not cursed. You are above and not beneath. You have been given the ATO. So utilize your authority in the earth. This is what the Recess podcast is all about. It is about, oh my goodness, us coming to the realization that we are great in him, and he that is in us is greater than he that is in the world. You know what I'm saying, believers. I'm calling all believers, and even those who don't even know God for themselves. I'm calling you too, because that's what the podcast is all about. It's really to get you to pause for a moment, think about where you are physically, mentally, spiritually, and figure out where you really want to be, what you really want to be doing. Is this the place where you really want to be? Can you imagine yourself being here 5 years from now? I'm pretty sure you want to be in a place of increase. I'm pretty sure you want to be walking in the excellence in which you were created. Stir up the gifts on the inside of you. Use your voice in your home. And I'm not talking about disrespect, because guess what? To whom much is given, much is required. If you want respect, you've got to show respect. I'm not talking about being rude and ill-mannered, having an attitude, but I'm talking about walking in the peace of God, allowing the light of Jesus Christ to shine and rise up on the inside of you to the point to where when you show up, chaos has to leave. Yeah, I said it. When you show up, you don't bring the chaos. You don't bring the trouble. You don't bring the bad attitude, but you bring peace. You bring joy. People love it when you show up. It's time to take a break. Put the pencils down, put the pen and the pad down, and get yourself to a place to where you can think clearly. I am Donna Sneed. You've been listening to the Recess podcast coming at you, and I'm hoping that you will catch me the next time. I'm super excited about what we're doing. Take care.